the reason why I'm being coy, not saying what it is they haven't announced it yet, so we can't announce it yet. But the deal is done, and we have a great home for the show. We're very excited, and we will be shooting around July, and should be launching the show out to the good people of everywhere in January. We are beyond excited about that, and I will say, it goes without saying, but it's going to be said, that none of this would be happening. No conversation would be happening without two key components. Rob and I created a show about conventions, about our experience backstage, and how quirky the actors are, and how the weird life of living in kitchens is, and all that kind of thing. And we wouldn't have had that experience but for the fact that Adam, Gary, and Stephanie have included us in this world for so many years and made it possible for us to be at conventions, and we are graciously forever in your debt for that. And the second key component is you, who are here. Who supported us when we were doing conventions, and then went above and beyond and supported us when we were doing the crowdfunding. And I think one of the things I learned is crowdfunding isn't just about funding. Funding is, let's generate money to pay for a project. What I thought was fantastic is, obviously, not everybody can put money into everything that comes down the pipeline. But what was great is how supportive you all were in terms of retweeting, keeping the conversation alive, keeping the idea out there for others to find who don't necessarily know who we are, but enjoyed the concept of it. And it was astonishing. I gotta be honest, Rob and I started it, and we had no idea what to expect. And the conversation it started amongst our fellow actors, Matt Cohen, Misha, Jared Jensen, everybody involved, Osric, Sebastian, everybody. That dialogue that became the creative juice of what we were designing, plus what you guys are doing for us on the other side, which was spreading the word, spreading love, and when you could, contributing and getting involved. It was amazing. It truly was an awe-inspiring re-examination of how production can work.
And while we're giving heartfelt thank yous, I think it's very important that you guys give yourself a round of applause for just, wait, I didn't see what you think of yourselves. Slow down, for a slightly less than sober Matt Cohen making a promise to these guys during karaoke to get naked. Wow, you reached $200,000 fast, and boy oh boy, is that haunting my career now. I can't tell you, every soap opera digest magazine I do an interview for, they're like, so are you really naked? And I'm like, yes. I represent ABC.
That was literally him making that up on the fly that night at karaoke in Seattle, where he was like, this is Rich, film this. I'm like, okay. And he made the promise on film, and Rob and I were like, okay. I mean, before you could think twice about it, Rob had that put up online and had sent that video out. It was in the webosphere immediately, because we didn't want you to retract it. And thank you for your support, your help.
It became real very fast. And then very fast when Rob was like, all right, here we go, do it, Matt. I was like, Rob, you gotta film and stop just.
Oh, the you running part.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Sort of happy to be part of that.
Thank you, the other question is that I would talk to you about is Rob, the writing of it. You and me working together creatively.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, sort of to answer the question, like the thing that we're sort of learning right now. We've written 10 episodes, and we're in the process now. We're finishing those and turning them in, but they're basically written and done, and it's just it's so fun to imagine it. I can't wait for you guys to see it, and we've learned a lot about. I mean, the fact is, it's like that's the part that Rich and I really get a kick out of is creating this stuff, and so I think it's been good therapy for us as friends.
No, it's been great. I mean, Rob and I have collaborated on this stage a lot, but we've never collaborated in that way until this project, and it's been fantastic. Our comedic voices on paper mesh really well, and that has been really fun because we've both written a long time independently of each other. But this has been an awesome partnership, and continues to be incredibly beneficial both personally and professionally to me, and I believe to Rob as well. So the entire experience has been amazing. When you get into this business, this is kind of your dream. Like, it'd be cool to make my own show. Well, Rob and I are going to make our own show thanks to you. Thank you. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Stephanie. And thank you, everybody in the Supernatural fandom, because without you, we would have nothing. So thank you very much. And thank you for the question.
Well, thank you. We can't wait to see it.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. You.
character's powers, what would you do first?
I'd bring myself back to the show right now.
Yeah, I guess I'd make a porno. I mean, it's a cat on the nose.
I mean, Rob, you got a big time answer here.
I'd make both of them join me on the show. I don't know why that's not happening. But also world peace.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, no, I'd save the children.
And organic vegetables for everybody.
After the porno, I'd save the children. You.
My question is mainly for Rich, but I want all of you to weigh in on it.
I love that you're dressed as Sparkle from Just
So my question is actually about that episode, and obviously it was very important to the fandom at large. It's been widely regarded as one of the better episodes of the entire series.
Oh, that's nice.
And I just wanted to know what it was like going from everything you've done previously in the business to directing your first episode, and whether you guys would like to direct or maybe direct an episode of Supernatural. And I just wanted to thank you mainly for that episode.
Oh, geez.
I
Well,
love that.
no, thank you. I'll answer quickly first, and then let these guys chime in. But going from acting to directing it's a completely different animal. And even though it's in the same under the same artistic umbrella, that opportunity was I can't put a value on how awesome that experience was for me, and how long I lobbied for it, and how much I appreciated them giving me a shot. You know, from anything in life, whatever job you have, whatever experiences you have, somebody had to let you do it first, once, whatever it was. And that's always the hardest one to get. It's always the hardest people to convince is to convince people that you know what you're doing when you haven't done it yet. So you have nothing to show. And I will be forever in debt to Bob Singer, Phil Cerisha, and Jeremy Carver, who, after a year and a half of me sending them everything I've directed, short films, commercials, and everything, finally said, I'm not sure if it was to get me to leave them alone, or it felt like I earned it. Either way, they were so gracious and so lovely, and put a level of trust in my hands that I will never be able to repay them for. So the experience, I've never worked harder in my life than directing that episode of television. And I'll say this because all three of us have done a lot of episodes of TV. And we're also very alert and attentive people who are paying attention to what everybody in the set is doing. So we feel like we have a pretty good handle on how a set functions. And what I realized is, I didn't know my A from a hole in the ground, it turns out. Until you do it, until you're in the chair making the decisions and doing all that prep and all that, you really have no concept of how much goes on that we're not privy to because we're not there for prep, we're not there for those discussions. And it was just so intense. I mean, every decision was brought up, everything. You know, Sparkle's blood, the color of the mane, everything. I mean, everything was discussed, every detail. And Jenny Klein was so fantastic. Her script was so brilliant. She's so creative, so gifted, and this is, I'm going to say this so it's on the the Twitter sphere, the Tumblr sphere, and everything else. Amazing writers on that show. When you write an episode and you spend that much time and that much energy and that much effort to tell a story that you've created out of thin air, I think writing is one of the hardest things you can do in any business because you're starting with a sheet of nothing, and you have to create the whole world. And she did an unbelievable job of not only doing due diligence to the world that already existed, but creating another one that worked alongside it. It was just fantastic. She did a great job. And after all that work, she was handed a first-time director, which could be a real bummer, because you would probably want Tom Wright or Bob Singer or Phil to do it, one of the veteran guys. And she immediately called me and told me how excited she was that I was directing her episode. And whether she was just lying or being honest, it was the nicest phone call I've ever gotten, because that kind of support fueled my entire process. The fact that she trusted my ability to pull off her vision was amazing. So I have mad love for that woman and mad respect for her talents. So it was great. Now, gentlemen, directing, is it in your future? Hey.
That was the quick version. I didn't do the long form.
You're right, Matt. There's another point. On day 2,